I almost forgot it. Oh, is it? Did I do it right? There we go. I almost forgot to turn on the music. Music's gonna be very important today. Very important. Because I found an interesting program. You see, it's about time I started work on some of the things I wanted to do for this, what's the right word? Journey, I guess. I don't know. Lore building for moi, Mikasa Zukasa. And honestly, if you really want to start with any of that, you got to start with a world, right? Well, the thing about that, I was thinking way too hard on it. I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to get a custom commission. I'm gonna have to find for some niche artist that does this specific thing, which I could not find on VGen, by the way. That's the unfortunate thing. There was not. Well, I mean, I guess if I did find someone, I probably wouldn't be doing this right now. But in the grand scheme of things, it is a little unfortunate because honestly, it's actually a very interesting category, in my humble opinion. And I didn't have to think hard at all. I literally just had to search up world building map. And lo and behold, there's a program for that. A web app, mind you, that can do exactly what you would need if you need to have a specific continent or world, whatever you like, right in your fingertips. So, this is the wonderful, wonderful Inkarnate. Now, I say wonderful. I haven't really delved too much into it. I've just seen some videos on it, and honestly, it looks really good. From what I've seen so far, it looks really, really good. Give me a sec. There we go. So, I literally only have the free account. This is just gonna be me testing, so it's probably just gonna be a short stream, just so I can kind of like, I don't know, get the hang of all the tools in this program. But eventually I'm going to use this to develop the continent which my character will be based off from. Now, I already have, I mean, I don't really want to spoil too much. I don't really want to spoil much at all. I don't have a name for a continent, I'll say that much. I have an idea of what kind of world I want. I have an idea of what kind of lore I want. And I have a kind of idea of what kind of geography I would want. Now, it's just going to have to come all together in this kind of program. And the first one is not going to be it whatsoever. I'm going to be quite honest. Let me just show real quick the capability this program has. So it's notably, obviously, I would think make the most sense, is a D&D map creator, right? And as you can see, they have some amazing looking art. I don't know if, I believe these are actually maps made by other users. It's not just the actual website itself. These are actual maps people have made and made public for others to utilize. And I mean, let's check out this one for instance. Look at the detail you can have for this. This is obviously a city map that you can make. I don't think we're going to be making a city map. Not anytime soon. It would be kind of interesting. Once we actually have an actual continent, we can go real in depth and potentially make something like this. But just look at the detail. Like, you can literally just like go into the specific paths, the actual details of like trajectory of the pathways don't have to be any straight. They're very angular, very what's the right word? Random, I guess you could say. And then look at this detail of the rock. Like, how do you get something like that in a program? Like, honestly, you could have a lot of work doing this by hand, sketching out each of these layers one by one. But, like, this program does it just for you. That's, like, amazing to me. That's, like... I'm going to keep on gloating. Just from what I've seen, this is going to be an awesome thing to utilize. And then here's an example of a continent. I don't think I'm going to be able to make something this big. Obviously, I'm going to probably try and like make it slightly smaller. But look at the capability you can do. You have multiple different kinds of biomes you can do. You could honestly make a good like Middle Earth in essence. Let me find another continent map. Something closer to what I kind of want to have. Let's see here. There's a lot of lower ones, and that's completely understandable as a D&D program. I just kind of want to have maybe like this, perhaps. Something like this, I would say. I kind of want to have this as like a final product. However, probably a little bit more bigger so you can see like the towns. Now, why? I mean, so you can see the towns here. I want to do more than just having a map, and I don't want to spoil too more than just that. I want to have some like functionality to it, and what that functionality will be, I don't really want to go into quite yet. Eventually I will, just not quite yet, just because I don't want to spoil everything. But overall, this is going to be kind of like what I want to try and strive for. What I feel like I'm going to probably be able to make is just like a glop of a map, and that's about it. Oh, this looks like the Imperial City. Look at that. That's amazing. But anyways, I really want to make something like this. I really want to build a world. I've been trying to do something like this for maybe, I'd say I had the idea in my head since December of last year. And I've only really started thinking about when do I really want to start working on this? Maybe around May this month. So what is that, like 4 months ago, I think? So it's been a long time of the working. I do know what kind of like world I would want to build in terms of like the races, location. Well, not really locations quite yet, but like geography of like where those races are going to be located. You know what, maybe rather than me just constantly rambling, maybe I just go right into it and just choose style. Fantasy battle maps free. Fantasy battle maps. Like I said, I only have the free version, so we are like severely limited to what you get with the actual pro. Now, 108 assets is just with a free version. You have 2,400 in the full one, and even more in the fantasy battle map. Watercolor cities. Okay, so this is probably what the map we saw with like the town as well. Interesting. They got parchment as well. I wonder if you can convert these to some of the other versions. So like if you have this fantasy world, does it automatically convert to the parchment? I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. This is the main one I want to focus. Landscape 40 by 30 tiles. 30 by 40 tiles. You have 4K as well. What's 4K? Ooh. I almost got doxxed. I don't know what those are, but I mean, I'll take it. Now, this map is, I'm going to be quite honest, this map is going to be just hot garbage. Your current browser is not officially supported by Inkarnate. You may experience bugs, poor performance, and some features may not work as intended. Oh, I have Firefox. Maybe I just take note of that once I actually work on stuff like that. Okay. So this is the main canvas. This is what I've seen in YouTube tutorials so far. And the main functionality of it is honestly pretty easy. So you have pretty much, you just have your brush as you can see on the screen. And if you just go ahead and you drag, oh my goodness, that is laggy. You just drag it across, boom, you got a continent, right? Now, we could just keep on just forming what kind of shape we want to have. I don't know. Maybe you like go. I think I'm gonna have like an island continent for my world, so probably just working on something like that might be for the best. Kind of symmetrical right now. I don't really know how I can make that different in the grand scheme of things. So let's just work with this for now, right? We can go ahead and also mess with the roughness. So let's say we were at roughness 8. Let's go ahead to roughness 15. What is this going to look like? I actually don't really know. All right, how about we go even higher then? Roughness 32 is the max. Oh, okay, actually, it looks a little smoother. What if we go ahead and then, if we were at 8, let's go to 1. Or actually, we can't go to 1. We'll go to 3 then. What does 3 look like? Okay, so it's a little bit smaller, but you have like very edgy sides, it seems like. Can I zoom in as well? Yes, I can. Yeah, as you can see, like, this is 8 right here, and this is 3. Yeah, 3. I guess if you would really want to go into detail, you could probably go ahead and, like, once you have this, we go to brush size, let's say 10, right? And we just dot this line right here, go away the whole way across. And it kind of has like a little more detail to it, I think. At least that's what it looks like. And then if you wanted to go ahead, do a little bit, something like that. Have little rough edges, I guess. Now, how do you erase? Circles? No. Subtract? Okay, yeah. So subtract is pretty much, from what I've seen, is add is just pretty much the continents. Subtract is just putting in the water. And I guess the best way to describe it is your foreground is the continent and your background is the water. So no matter what, the water is technically there. You have this continent, there's water underneath it pretty much. And you're just using an eraser to pretty much show the water again. I guess that's the best example I could say. Actually, hang on. Rather than adding, what if it's you go ahead, you just erase it like this. Yeah, you could, oh wait, that looks even better because then you have like little edgy stuff like this. Add little basins. I don't know what they're called, gulfs, peninsulas, something like that. Have little islands. That looks great. I actually think this looks, honestly, I mean, this is a great scale. Like, this is like a massive continent in my head. And this is like a very long island, but still fairly big. And this is just one ginormous continent kind of thing. At least that's what I have it in my head. So let's go ahead, like maybe make this like a gulf. This is a peninsula. Something like that. Got like pinchers going on right there. And then maybe, let's say like in this kind of like area, the city, we have a city like right here. Honestly, like I said earlier, this is, I'm just testing the actual program itself. This scale I'm working at in my head right now is just fucking massive. And you know what, here, let's rework it. Let's go ahead and rework it. I want to try and think of this kind of idea in a greater scale, closer up, and still have that kind of detail. So I don't like this continent too much. I'm going to try and rework it. Maybe if we start with like a giant circle and then go from there. Maybe that's the play. Let's start with 10. Thinking like maybe a round edge right here. I might actually have to learn, what's the word? Watch some geography videos. How like continents work. The continental plates, how they move around. That could be something to learn as well. Because in the grand scheme of things, I really want to have a decent looking map. The map that I make for the actual world is going to be final, hopefully. There'll be no more changes to it after I finish it. And I don't know if I would really want to stream it either. Because there would be some spoilers, if you will, that would be included on it that I don't really want to showcase right off the bat, if that makes sense. So maybe we actually go like a decent amount of detail in this like rough draft and then just go from there, like get the full-on experience with this map, try and make it decent, and then once I have the skill for it, I'll actually make the actual one that's going to be the one for the lore. I think that's a good idea. Okay. So I think this is a decent enough shape. Maybe we go a little bit more in this side. Or hang on, I got an idea. What if it's not one big continent? And we have like something over here as well. And you have like this. Is this like a gulf? I honestly, I don't know the names of anything. Geography was like my worst class, and I only had it like twice in my entire life, I believe. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's a gulf. And then you have that. Maybe you have like a continent over here as well. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's gonna add one right here too. Look at that. Just because that looks a little empty. That one stays quiet though. It's lonely. We gotta have some gray space. We can't have just continents everywhere. And then if we go ahead, make the brush smaller, maybe do 3. Can we maybe just clean up these edges and make them a little more rough, I guess? I think something along these lines. I'll probably watch a lot of tutorials on this program too. Actually, hang on. What if this... Oh, I got an idea. What if this island right here was a part of this piece and then the continental plate moved away? I like that idea. Hang on. Okay, so we have that. If we go back to add, we gotta add this little like divot right here. Maybe do something like that. Go back to subtract. Maybe not has as much roughness now. Because like this is a little rough just because maybe that's how it like took away. We could have a little bit of more smoothness, huh? And then have like an island also right here. So like this is right here. All 3 of these are one giant piece. Now I don't know how geography works. I believe if that's the case, we can't have a mountain here. Is that how it works? I honestly don't know. And then could we have like maybe like a lake right here? Going across, down. Okay, so we have that there. Maybe if we cut open this. Make this island a little bit bigger. Okay. I like that. I think that's good. And maybe, hang on, should we have like a... I'm thinking too far ahead. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I have to do one step at a time. I'm like getting too excited of what kind of other things I can use in this program. Let's go ahead like there. Make this... That looks like a mouth. That looks like a orc from Warhammer opened up his mouth and it's like this giant jaw. Maybe have like this, like a little tight bend right here. And maybe like a hunchback right here. Hi, Rixie, how you doing? I think maybe... I just realized I'm going back to like the massive continent again. I'm gonna have to get better at that. That's too big of a lake. Do a lake right there. And then maybe have like mountainscapes right here. Okay. I think that's... if it's like this, I feel like we gotta have a little more body mass over here. So like... something like that, maybe. I think this kind of has the cutaway as well. If I'm not mistaken, and I probably am, The way land masses work is that it starts as one giant thing and then it just breaks away from one another. And those are your plates. And you kind of just have to like make sure you have like the same kind of, doesn't have to be exact, right? But like the same kind of connections between land masses. If there's like a giant water separation between them. So like you have this piece right here. If we go ahead and fix that, maybe not as much. I think that's good enough. This piece right here was like right here. And then it deterred away. And actually, perhaps it was like this whole continent, this whole island was like this whole piece. Actually, yeah, it's definitely it. It started breaking away. And then right here, it started breaking away again. So this side moves this way, and this side moves this way to the right. And there's only a small little peninsula holding it together. I think that's good. And I think maybe up here. Let's go ahead, do something like that. And I say, like, let's go for, like, a giant lake. Giant lake in the center. Maybe it's like a meteor or something. A meteor hit this continent, and that's what caused all the continental plates to separate. And in that impact, you have a small island. And right there, that's where we could have the capital city. The city for whatever kingdom is in this area. And I think since we have that, we use a small brush. Can we go ahead? That's a little too big. Can I undo? I can. Good. Let's do maybe 2. Let's up the smoothness maybe. Oh, whoa. Okay, no, never mind. That's way too much smoothness. That's not the case then. Is it this one? It is. Okay. So if you want to have like actual rivers or something like that, you use that tool. I don't like how smooth that is though. I think it kind of like as a river, you kind of have to like rivers bends because that's how they eat away at the soil. You don't really have too much flatness going on. We're gonna have it breaking away like so. Let's have like, rather than here, let's say it started off right here. And then just ate away at this spot right here. There we go. So we have our one river going from our lake in the center. Where's my mouse? Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I think we have that. My mouse is gone again. I actually know there it is. It's just very tiny. I think let's go back here and just... Oh, I forgot about the smoothness. Don't do that. Let's go back to like 10. And I'd say smooth this out some. We'll do our same thing what we were going with, like the islands spreading away from the mainland. Try and like keep that same look going on. I think we got to add a little more edginess right here. Same on this side, maybe add a little bit more. I feel like there has to be more to this though. That looks too plain. It does not look natural to me. We have like that, and then like this split away right here. You go for something like that. Add a little more roughness now to this side. It just looks like a rat sitting down, open its mouth wide open. Okay. And then pretty much I would just say it's this side down here. I kind of like how it is right now. I think we could just maybe just add to it. Maybe not that much roughness. Go back up to 10. If I add the brush, will that make it not so smooth? Yeah. Go to 7 maybe. Oh wait, that actually you can actually see how much it is now. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's do something like that. Oh, got lagged there a bit. That didn't look like the picture though. Let's do that maybe. All right, I just keep on adding. I just realized that. I'm gonna cut away now. Okay. And I feel like right here, we got to eat away at this spot. I think that's actually a good size for an island. And maybe just like cut into there. Same on this side too. Okay. Is that our island? Islands, I should say. I mean, I think it looks good. As like my first one, I don't think that's half bad. Now, if I'm not mistaken, now since we have all that, the next thing it's recommended to do is start thinking about your biomes. What you want your biomes to be. And I'm thinking I kind of want to have... Actually, hang on, I got a better idea. Let's think of this as... This right here might be the equator. This point going the whole way across, that's the equator. So like let's make this... Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Why are we in the foreground? Oh, that's why. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead. Let's make this all winter. And then like as you go further down this way, this is like tundra. So Greyland, I would guess. This is be where like the Vikings are at. And then just do a little bit of base, maybe add a little bit of texture in there. Followed by a little bit of grassland. Not very green grass. Because you don't got a lot of stuff living up here. It's too cold. Maybe brown grass as well. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then maybe just add a little bit dotting the landscape as well. Not too much though. This is just the polar Arctic area. Add a little bit of gray back in there. And just make this area all snow. This will just be like a maybe, actually no, the mountains should be over here. And then like the flat area on this side. Because if this is pushing away up north, that means if it's hitting another continental plate up here, then that is merging, causing a mountainscape to form on this side. If I'm not mistaken. That makes sense in my head. Okay. I think that's good. And then on the opposite of the things, Let's go ahead and make this the jungle. This is the same color. Oh, I guess maybe it's just because that's the only... Maybe there's more options in the pro version. Okay. Maybe we'll just leave it like that then. If that's the case, let's go ahead, just dot. Add a little bit of grasscape to it. And you know what? What if we also go ahead and get ready for some mountainscapes right there? We're gonna also have a mountainscape over here too. Wait, no, that was not the right area. We were talking about it was gonna be up here. So let's just pretty much dot this whole landscape up here, like so. And just dot it up with the snow again. Maybe make the brush a little bit bigger. Doesn't look quite realistic the way it is. Gotta smooth that out some more. There we go. And then I'm thinking this whole area right here, we're gonna have as a desert. Do I have desert? Yes, I do. This will just be a desert wasteland right here. This whole side. And we can make some changes if it's like way too big as well. But I kind of want to have like a mountainscape right here. Just going across. I maybe... I don't have any better sand than that, huh? Okay. Maybe have like... There's an entrance to the desert on this side. So like some of that desert heat is coming onto this like grassland. So it's a little drier grass. And then this mountainscape's going to be blocking it in the main area. Okay. And if that's the case, we just dot lining this right here. It's just all mountainscape. Not too much grass is growing here. We have a little peninsula going across here. And I would very much like the idea of like this mountainscape is going across here and you just have like, you have to walk all the way around the mountainscape just to get over here. So like if there's like a major city, you either have the option of going up here, where it's like it might be the kingdom's route, but if you have like a kingdom right here that's not a part of the one that we're gonna have up here, and you want to get here and they have closed borders, you're gonna have to like the long trek of going down this way. Okay. And I kind of like if we line this whole side up like so. Same for right here. Okay. Just dot this a little bit more. Get some of that little dry grasslands. Not just right at the desert, but like seeping into the other parts as well. You're not going to have it too much here because maybe like all the rainfall just still focuses on this side and the mountainscape just like halts it going even further eastward. Okay, actually, maybe not have any mountains up here. Maybe have this like as a plains for like the farmland. Okay. Now, do I have any other biomes that I could potentially use? What does this look like? Oh my goodness, hang on. What if this is like the fertile lands right here? This is the best farmland you can get right in this kind of region, and this is like why they're thriving so much. The meteor, yeah, I like that idea. So the meteor crash landed on this continent right here, and since that's where life first got instincts at that portion, it's also the same point where life began anew. And just over time, this just became the most fertile land, the most abundant in resources, because it had the most time to develop compared to everywhere else, where life just slowly, like from this point, made its way across. And that's why the desert, this is barren because it couldn't reach over here. But how do you explain this? Maybe this mountainscape was part of this, and it was just this corner right here, which then connects up to this tundra area. And this technically, when this was all one continent, this was the barren area right here. This does have some grassland in it, but since it went further up to the northern climate, you don't really have so much fertility in the grasslands anymore, in the soil. I like that. I like that a lot. Maybe not have it so much right here, just because that's where the dry grassland is at. I don't really want it too strong up here, but it's still abundant. Same with down here. You're going to have some of the very fertile soil in this area. It's just not as abundant right at the center. You know what? Let's add a little bit more here too. That's a little more color. We probably should add some down here too. This is going to be, like, technically what I said, a rainforest. So I don't know what the story is of how it got abundant down here, but you're going to have a lot of vegetation. Okay. All right, now, do we need to do anything else? And I guess we could maybe... What's, Do we like the water? And I guess the water's alright. I think before we do anything else... Blur? What does that mean? Let's go ahead and dot the mountainscapes. So this is... We have a mountain going off around here. Going all the way down to this portion. Do we like how big those mountains are, though? I don't think so. Can I... How do I get rid of it? Do I just have to undo it every single time? Let's go ahead and make this like 75. Not gonna lie, we don't really have too much in terms of differing styles in the free version. It's a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. I'm definitely gonna get the pro version when I work on the actual world. Maybe not that much. Actually, also, I don't really like how barren that looks. Can I maybe... Let's make the scale a little bit bigger. And change the opacity down some. So you could still see a little more of the grassland. You know what this kind of reminds me of? You know how, like, in RimWorld, the world kind of has, like, you have a mountain version, you have a mountainous, you have hilly, and then small hills. That's kind of like what I feel like I'm doing right now, is I'm just making a RimWorld with this generation. Go back to a mountain right there. So we got the mountainscape right there. I feel like a little bit more has to go right here too. That looks a little bland. It looks a little too straight, if that makes sense. Like, it has to divert some. Let's change the opacity back up to maybe 61. And then let's make this, like, bigger, since this is, like, the heart of the mountain right there. Oh, I like that. I like that. Oh. That's the peak. We're not going to make anything bigger than that. That's too big. Honestly, that's... Hang on. The way that's, like, placed, it kind of takes away from the peak, I ain't gonna lie. There we go. That looks better. There we go. And then kind of cut off some like this. So we have like that dry basin. This is called Inkarnate. You can make your own like custom maps. And I had a project I wanted to do that requires something like this. So this is a training exercise for me. This is the free trial version. In the free trial version, you get pretty much, honestly, like easily explainable. You have the whole map. You can go up to 2K, I believe. With the Pro, you can go up to 3 and 4K. And you can also create biomes. The free version doesn't have too many biomes, as you can see. But in the actual Pro, there's like a shit ton. And the Pro doesn't really cost that much either. It is only $25 for the entire year, or $5 for 1 month. So, I mean, depending on how much time you're focusing on it, say 2 months, you could just do the monthly and just cut off once you're done. Or, which I assume most of the D&Ds are doing, is they use this as well as they have a bunch of like battleground maps you can do. Here, let me go ahead. Let me just pull it up. Inkarnate. I'll just pull up a new page and I'll send it to you. Here, also, while I'm here, these are some of the maps that other people have made. So, like, you have, like, battleground maps for D&D. You just move your pawns in it, and it's like some of the software programs. You can make cities. So this one right here, look how amazing this looks. Like, you can go into so much detail. And then you can also have continents, which is what I'm kind of, like, trying to learn to do right now. Now, this is the Pro version. As you can see, there's so many special things you can have in here. Unfortunately, you don't really have as much in the free version. So I would recommend you just learn the tools in the free version and then go from there. But let me go ahead, send this to you. Kyrie, where you at? Oh, there you are. Pop. All right. Have fun with that. It's actually really easy to pick up. And also, hi, Nat. How you doing? I'm gonna go ahead, follow our mountain trail, like right here. I feel like there has to be a large peak right here, too. Maybe not as big as one right there, though. Oh, that looks good. And then have another large peak at the end over here. Yes. Could be better. Well, you tired or you just not feeling well? Just took Tylenol for cramps. Oh, that's a massive F. I have to take Tylenol here and there just because of, is Tylenol the same as ibuprofen? I honestly don't know. I get frequent headaches that I have to, like, rely on that from time to time. Okay. I think that's good there for the mainlands. Actually, hang on. Let's put one big mountain. Not a massive one. One right there. There we go. Tylenol is a brand of... oh... It's a different drug. Okay. Good to know. I'm not very medicine smart. I do apologize. Is that too big? Yeah, I think that's too big for the small little island. I don't like that either. There we go. Something like that. Both are effective for pain relief, but ibuprofen is more for pain relief and inflammation. Good to know. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, hang on. Do I want to do the jungle? I kind of want to do the winter area. Let's go ahead, make this largest portion of the mountain. Like so. And then it just gets smaller on this side. Gets smaller as you further go on. Like so. Honestly, I'm actually having really fun doing this. I'm like, so currently what I got, all these continents was one big one, right? And they slowly diverged. However, this used to be a continent with a lot of life. However, there was a meteor that hit right here. And from that point, life was desolated. From that point all the way to all these other areas. However, life finally began anew. And as you can see, the grassland is much more fertile, or fertile, however you want to pronounce it, right where it first ended. And as time moved on, it divulged and further. Now you have life all back on the continent again. However, since these mountains were blocking the pathway, this is still desolate. And since it was technically part of that same area, this portion over here is also desolate. Or desolate. That's the opposite of one of my stories world. What, is yours like the end worlding kind of, or the world is ending kind of thing? I don't like how like it shows gray there. I kind of wish that was a snow peak. That looks good. Maybe cut down the opacity so it's not like eating away at the snow. I don't want to add too much because it's taken away from the aspect of this being a very bone chilling area. Life had previously not existed until the creation deity was messing around, threw a star at the planet, and life sprouted from it. I mean, that's kind of what we have here. We just have a meteorite that came here, decimated like the dinosaurs, and then from that point, there was cellular life on that meteorite, and it just slowly retook the world. She didn't know how her powers worked when she came into being. Honestly, I feel like that's an interesting aspect people should really stick to when it comes to like gods. Like, you have the aspect of either a god is all-knowing from the very beginning, which, I mean, I guess maybe the first one, they created themselves or something, and the sub-gods or demigods after that, like, have great power, but, like, they have to learn from it. They don't know what capabilities they have. Let's add some hills here. Okay. I kind of want to have like a great forest in this little area. And like the elves live here. The elves are like secluded from the humans, living in like the grand imperial palace here. And then like maybe dwarves live on this mountainscape. So mine was formed when the being who oversees the universe took 4 gems off her crown, and they became the creator deity of that universe. Okay. Who made the crown then? Maybe the dwarves live here, maybe? That's kind of close to the elves, though. Maybe should we have the elves... Should the elves be living down here, maybe, then? I don't know. I want the elves to be secluded from everyone else. They're isolationists. Or isolationists. God, I can't say a word today. Okay. We add some hills here. I just don't really like how they look just by themselves. They look a little bit better when they're near mountains. Yeah, that's a little better. Do we have any other tile we could use? Caves. What? Oh my goodness. Oh, that looks so good. Think of the gems from her crown as the Infinity Stones from the Avengers. Okay. So we have a giant cave there. Maybe we put one right here too. How do I flip? Put one right there. Maybe another one right there. Have another one right there. Oh, this looks like a great spot for one. Okay. Now... Oh, we still got to do the mountain over here. Okay. Let's make the mountain peak start right here. Right in the center. Just kind of had to fuck around and find out. I mean, that's how we all go around. You live from your failures and whatnot. What the hell? I don't remember this music in Witcher. No place like home. Get out of here. That's not Witcher enough for me. There we go. Accidental success. What is that how you say it? Failed successfully? I think that's how it is. Mission failed. Yeah, that's it. Oh my goodness, that's my favorite mountainscape right there. Look how crisp that is. And maybe have one little cave right here. I feel like we need to have something over here too, though. Not too much, but some. Oop, not that big. There we go. Now, use a little more rocky. There we go. There are even better ones in the pro version. This is just the only mountainscape that I have. Like if we, I don't know if we could see. I don't know if we can see them in here. No. With the pro version, there are so many beautiful looking ones that I plan to use for my actual map. Okay, I think that's it for here. Can we go ahead for some trees now? I think probably just having this is a basin of trees right here. And then since all the travelers are going across this way, that's why it's open. Oh, you know what we could do? Actually, hang on. Before we do this, let's make our rivers. So let's have one coming out from there. I don't like that. Wait, what? What? Huh? Wait. Why isn't it going back? Uh-oh. Alright, I guess I'll do it this way then. Maybe go this way. Oh, that doesn't... Shit. We need another mountain right there. Not a big one, just to cover that up. Oh, that's good. Okay. And then... go even smaller, maybe? When Elena accidentally created life, a tree sprouted from the impact of the star, and that tree became the origin of all life. So it's like a Yggdrasil. Oh my good, I can't say anything today. Oh, it's Monday. Yggdrasil. I'm about to learn how to like how river formations go, because right now I'm just winging it, and it's okay, but I feel like it could probably be better. That's where you got your inspiration from. So is there like multiple worlds then, or multiple realms? That looks good. In a way, yes. Oh, hang on, I got an idea. This is the only form of fertility in this region, and it's very subtle. Made a lot of changes? No, I'm not going to say quite yet. I tried to paint the tree design idea I had for a project in art class. There's a lot of good, decent references you can use for like Yggdrasil. I think my favorite actually is Hollow Stars. They have it in their actual like logo. Those watercolor. Oh, watercolors. Oh, I'm gonna say right here. I don't know if it's a hot take or not. Watercolor is the absolute worst. I hate watercolor. Oh my goodness. It's like the worst imaginable art form there is because there's like no control. We need a river up here. Maybe come out from the cave. Oh, I like that. It diverges too. It was hard to use. There's no control whatsoever. I give up. I gave up when I was trying to do watercolor like back in my sophomore year in high school. I just did never want to deal with it ever again after that. I think we need to have some up here too. There we go. I'll send you the final design I came up with that skill set with this watercolor could achieve. Yeah, good luck with that. I will appreciate any kind of form because I know how terrible watercolor painting is. If there's like crisp lines, I know you cheated. Should I have anything on this island? One hill. 2 hills. 4 hills. 4 hills, that's all we need. Oh, wait. No. Oh, I wish there was a volcano. Volcano. Volcano Island. There's no crisp lines. Yep. Okay, then it's actual watercolor. I think with small islands down here. Okay. Maybe some here too. I don't know if there's a way we can make it so... Maybe... I don't know. Check DMs. Bet. Let me see. Yeah, that's what I expect from water art or watercolor. You know what that reminds me of? I don't know. Was it? Hang on. There's a certain like Viking game that has that. That has like those colors, I believe. I only played like briefly the game itself, but it looks very familiar. Valheim. I feel like there's a tree that looks like that in Valheim. Like that purple like esque leaves and no wait no it's not Valheim, it is God of War. I think there's there is a tree in God of War that looks like that. Also, hi Shadow, how you doing? We're making a map. I think we're done there. I don't know if we can add anything here. Maybe one mountain peak here, perhaps. There's not really much else we can do in the free version. Let's go ahead and maybe add some trees. I want to add too many up here. This is like the wastelands. But the way it is now, it's kind of barren, and I don't like how plain it looks. You're allowed to have deserts. I do! It's right here! It's right there! Don't you fret, I got one. It's just not very yellow because I don't have... I don't have yellow. My palette doesn't have yellow for some reason. Look, they even have some bountiful areas right next to the river. And these are the dry grasslands, where there's not too much fertile soil, so they kind of die off from the heat, and the cycle begins anew again. However, the further you go over, you start having more trees. I don't really want to have too many down here, though, because it's a little still desolate. You got seawater to the south and mountainous areas to the north. You don't have too much fertile soil to become a complete forest, if that makes sense. Plus, I kind of want to have trails going through here. Actually, hang on. Before I do that, why don't we... go ahead and do the cities. So we have, whoops, we gotta raise the opacity. We're gonna have the capital. Is that good looking for a capital? There we go, that's a little bit better. That's the capital right there. And then let's have... This is an orc village. I don't want an orc village. I want this to be like an Arabian town. There's no like golden looking one. Maybe we do this. Have Arabian town there. Do we have an elf one? No. We have a fortress right here. And then the elf village right here. I don't know where to put the dwarves. Maybe just like right here. So maybe have it down here as well. And maybe human village there. Human village there. Human village there. Human village here. I think that looks good. Now we need a bridge that goes to the capital. So maybe like right here. This area right here still looks very bland. Ooh. I can't really put a ship there, though. Guess we could have a ship right here. Ship going across there. Do we have a Viking ship? No. Ooh, we could put a dragon, though. Where are we putting the dragon? Should we have a dragon, like, in between the wastelands? Or should we have it, like, more so up here? Like, no one goes up this... This is the area you don't want to go. One dragon right there. Maybe one down here, too. Like, people are too scared. People are too scared to leave the continent because of the monsters that are out in the deep sea. I have one up there, too. Yeah, if you venture off the continent, good luck. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so... I think we gotta go back to trees now. Let's go ahead and do that. So this is gonna be the elf village. We're gonna have, like, this as larger trees. Just fill this whole area up. Fill this whole area up. I kind of wish I could change this color to like a more elvish, like a greenish look to it. So it's a little hidden away still. Okay. And then the further you get out of this mountainscape, it thins out. Look at that. Oh, we gotta add a little more green in here, it looks like. Actually, no, that was a bad idea. Is there an eraser? Is there an eraser? Oh, no. Oh, no, don't want to do that. Don't want to do that either. Oh, no. Alright, done goof that. Alright, you're gonna have some green over there, I guess. I don't know a way to get rid of that now. Maybe we just add a little bit more. Make the opacity start drifting away so it kind of is mixed. Oh, we're kind of fixing it. Yeah, I think we slightly fixed it. It's not the best, but it's a little bit better. Okay. I think that's good for that area. I believe now we gotta add some over here, though. We're gonna have, like, some passageway treading through this little turf, but not too much. Because only this village would go through there. And over here, this will be a decent forest. Not as dense as this area, but you still got some. Not too many people come on this side of the mountainscape, because this side is easier to reverse. This will be the densest area right here, maybe. What does that look like? Gotta, can we add some on top of the... Yeah, we can. Okay, good. There's a little desolate right here on the hills. And honestly, that doesn't really make too much sense if they were barren as well. Only the mountains would be barren. Okay. I love how like this is just like slowly growing. It's like an amalgamation of just green coniferous forest. So let's make it a little greener in some areas too. I'm using the opacity to make it so it's like not very vibrant green, if that makes sense. And then it starts thinning out. This would be like the forestry town, I feel. This will be like the slight farmlands. Not as great, but more so just for mining. And this is the farmland, and this is strictly just mining, maybe. Let's make this a little more open on this side so you could see the trail that they made. And I kind of... Do we have a dock I could use for this fortress? No. Okay. That's good there. I don't know if we should have roads over here. I mean, there should be some kind of connection leading from the major city from here to the kingdom over here, but... I'm liking how this is shaping, though. The trees honestly give so much character to it. And to be honest, also, I kind of like the areas where, like, the trees aren't so dense, if that makes sense. Where you can see a lot more of the grasslands behind it still. Okay. That's when the trees start dying down there. Oh, give me a sec. Huh. Okay. There we go. I still don't know what I want to do. I just want to leave it like this bare over here too. Honestly, this isn't half bad looking. It's just, I wish there was a way to add a little bit more topology to it. I think that's the right word. That where it's like you see like height levels on a map topology, I believe. Okay. That's actually looking great. I think this area right here needs to be a little more denser though. This is like the heart of the forest in this region. Okay, that looks good. Maybe add a little some right here. Okay. That was bothering me as well. That bothers me as well, too. And's there. Is that better now? Okay, yeah, that's much better. And I think rather than it just being you walk down the river, I'd say you slightly go through the forest here and you go like that. I don't want to take up too much of this area since this is going to be the farmland. So maybe start just dotting it up here. Add a little forest up here maybe. But not too much. I think I like that. I think this side is done. Wait, hang on. Maybe add a little bit more right here. There we go. Right there. And there. And here. As well as there. And here. There we go. Now it's done. This side will have to... make this all forest. So no one goes up here because there's nothing up here. Maybe only hunters, but that's about it. This is all wilderness. There's no reason to go up here unless there is an undiscovered gold mine they haven't found out yet. And it's that cave right there. This whole river is just lined with gold, but since no one goes over here, they don't know about it. I wish I could put like a little shack so like at least some person did. They ventured up here, realized there's gold, and they made a little like cabin to like come up here, buy the gold from time to time, and then bring it back to the city. And no one's the wiser. Okay. Okay. It's coming up together. It's really coming together in my head, I think. I really like how spaced it is right here. I don't think I have to add any more. Only just a little bit more right there. I'd say... hang on, we gotta add a little bit more here, I believe. We did say this is the desolate area. It doesn't look desolate enough. There's still too many spaces, if that makes sense. Also, I kind of want to add a few trees here, too. There we go. All right. I think that's the main continent done. You got the dwarves here minding their own business. They don't have any trails leading out because they're isolationists as well. We got the Arabian Golden Kingdom right here with their gold mine right here. You have the elves secluded by themselves, hidden away in their own forest. You have the Empire right in the center of the asteroid belt, or the meteorite. And you have these two little villages on the outskirts. I think now we gotta focus on this island over here. And then the only inhabitants here are just gonna be the dwarves, and that's it. However, since there's no natural water coming out of here compared to like these areas, it's not going to be as dense of a forest. I don't know if that's how it works. That's how it works in my head, though. This is my favorite song, by the way, in Witcher. There's no better song than this one. Okay. Kind of wish there was an easier way of doing this. I can hold and drag, but then it's too dense, in my opinion. I don't know if there's a way to add spacing, but from what I've seen, I don't think so. And since there is natural rivers here, we'll make the trees a little bit more dense. There we go. For some reason, this does not look natural up here, though. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's a little too bare right here. There we go. I think that's good. We pretty much have just technically 3 more continents. So we'll start down here, I guess. This is a rainforest, so it's going to be pretty dense, I feel. Just get this very dense in here. I'm not going to drag it like I did this. Honestly, this is my least favorite area just because of how, like, it just lines everything. It's looking very nice. Yeah, I kind of agree. I thought this was going to be very scuffed, I'm not going to lie. But honestly, I'm kind of proud with this. With the limited assets I have, this is looking pretty great in my humble opinion. Okay. Oh. Give me a sec. Give me 1 second. Uh-huh. There. Oh wait, hang on, I gotta do this too. There we go. Okay. Now I'm ready. And my chair fell. Oh! Give me a sec. I need to get a new chair. This one literally, it's like, it goes up and down, and then like at its bottom level, I feel like I'm in a little baby chair compared to my desk. My arms are like up to like my head. It is terrible. Oh, this is so much more comfortable. I feel like I'm like a toddler at the dining table. Every single time it falls down. Also, one day I really want to get a standing desk. Oh, I feel like standing desk while streaming, that has to be the play. Especially if you can get one of those those treadmills you could put underneath it. I would love that. Oh my goodness. Okay. How's that looking? I don't like how we only have like pine trees. I kind of wish we had a different looking tree just for the jungle. Are you sitting for most of the work? Unfortunately, yes. But I can walk to the shop floor to check on my projects. So there is a little bit of activism there. Not much, but some. I was actually thinking for work, I might get one of those like things that you could put on your desk that can raise it up so you can still stand. I'd also very would love to have the treadmill at work, but I don't want to look like a weirdo. I'm on my feet all night. F. I wish there was like a middle ground because I don't really like sitting down all the time because obviously it's unhealthy for you. But like, you have to like if there was like a 4 hours kind of thing, 4 hours standing, 4 hours sitting, but like intermittently between one another. I only get 2 30-minute breaks from which I can sit down. Yeah, I remember that. Shop floor guys told me that at my previous place, that's how they had it. They had a break at 9 a.m. and another one at 11:30, and that was it. God, I love Witcher music. Yeah, I work 10-hour night shifts for Amazon. Do you at least do 4 10s? Or is it still 5 10s? Because if it's 5 10s, that's unfortunate. 4 10s, at least you have a 3-day weekend. Okay. Working on the final continent now. So I think we should have like some hills on this. No mountains though. That's too much hills. Standard 4 hours a week. Yeah, there's that. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but personally, I would love 4 10s. Having a 3-day weekend would be so nice. I guess whenever you're just standing on it constantly, then it's another thing. Wednesday, Saturday? Really? That's a little odd. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, huh? 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. It's a little unfortunate time zone, I feel. It's like most of the good stuff that like shows and stuff like that wait for people that work the 9 to 5 have that like time zone specifically for the shows then. Maybe some small mountains here. Oh, no, not that one. Too much. There we go. Breaks are 10:15 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. That is a crazy time for a break. From perspective of someone who like literally falls asleep at around like 1 a.m. on average because I'm doom scrolling on YouTube Shorts. Yeah, you don't have to go on if you don't want to. Let's think happy thoughts. Look how great the map is looking. How about that? It's coming along. We just got to get the trails for the cities after all this. And then I would say we're pretty much going to be done. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer, but this isn't as tedious as I thought it would be. Makes these trees a little bit bigger. Oh, well, yeah, that's how that's one of them would be technically classified as your lunch break. That's the same for me. Technically, I work 8 hours, but I'm at work for 8.5 kind of thing. Hmm. Yeah, the way our guys counter that, they just would pretty much have like chairs at their workstation, and they would just bunk there. Not like cheap like folding chairs, like actual like office chairs that they can like recline in and stuff like that. Scan to scan, which means we have to scan our last item, scan our first item back into those times exactly. Hmm. Yeah, I advocated for this for some of my friends that were on the floor previously. If you can, if you're not like a big fan of it, I would recommend see if you can get a certificate for like marketing, and then you can go in as like a sales rep. That way you're just not out on the shop floor. You still have experience in like that kind of field though. So moving into a marketing role that like is support is relatively easier. Hmm. Okay. Not really a big fan of the snow area, but I don't really know what else I could do here. That's what I do typically. There's only break rooms on the first and third floors. There we go. Yeah. We're just little tools and drones for the upper class and all that. I think maybe if we add some trees in here, it might be best. Like these ones. Just very minutely. Not too much. Not too many things are living up here. There we go. And then let's add like a Viking village. That's too big. Viking village right there. Oh wait, hang on. Gotta change the opacity. There we go. Gotta add some trees up here now, I think. Ooh. Okay. All right, I think, you know what, hang on. Let's just add a few dead trees here and there, but not much else. There we go. Now, let's go ahead. Let's make the paths. How about that? Gotta do this. Paint in. Let's do stone. Can we make the opacity slightly brush? Softness. Okay, let's give her that. Maybe make it like 10. Brush size. Maybe 5. Yeah, that's a little too much. Top. No, we don't want to do top. Softness a little bit more. Opacity, let's make it 70. Is that good? It's okay. It could be better, but with this just being a rough draft, I'm kind of fine with it. Path comes down this way. Through the hills. Up to the bank. We're going to add a bridge there. Reverse it. Make it smaller. Like so. There's our trail. Going into the village there. Add another bridge. Now you're in the dense forest getting off to the forestry village. You walk on the bank. There's this one shop I follow on Instagram that has silly shirts, and one of them says physically pained, mentally drained, and I want that one. Yeah. There was a lot of workers that had shirts like that. Couldn't really say anything about it, I believe. Upper management too, I believe, from my memory. Now we need to do a bridge. Going all the way up here. Like so. Well, let's have another trail going this way as well. Why not? There's also Risen with a that would be a shirt I would wear. Alright, let's get a bridge right here too. Oh, that's a perfect spot for a bridge. Look at that. I have a a bridge here too. I'd say maybe go this way, loop around, go off the coast, back in. Actually, no, I don't like that. Let's redo that. Go this way. Follow this bank. Through here. We'll have the bridge here. Oh, that's a perfect bridge. And I'm not going to add a road in the desert because I feel like canonically, realistically, I should say, is the sands would just overtake it and it would just be worthless. Oh my, I actually love, look how you can see the trails on that map. That looks so good. I wonder if we could do maybe anything for like the farmland up here. Can I like... No, that doesn't really look great. Maybe a darker color, perhaps? Maybe not that big. Maybe not make it as big as the village. No. I don't know if I could showcase the farmland. Oh, you know, I forgot to add some trees over here on the fortress island. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Wait. There had to be a tree right there. Otherwise, it would not have been perfect. But now it is. All right. Next things we got to do. Let's go ahead. Let's add a compass to the top right here. And make that there. Can we increase it? Yes, we can. Actually, no, I don't like that. Let's use the other one. This one. What should we name this continent? What's the name of this whole land, I guess you could say? The gist of the story is that there was a meteorite that hit right in the center. Meteora? No, that's too simple. I can do better than that. Hmm. Is there a saying for life begins anew? Depending on your name, this will affect your vibe check. I want to see if there's like a Latin term for life beginning anew. Is there like a, hang on, let me see. Latin for, oh, that's basic. No, I don't want that. I'm not the best with names, by the way. I came up with my own terms at one point, LMAO. Depending on how you effectively name affect my vibe. Oh shit. Solace. What? That doesn't make sense. No. Oh my goodness. No, that does work. A transitional state. I named the Minecraft world ENVTuber, which is supposed to be the life in a random made-up language I made on the spot. That sounds... ENVTuber reminds me of like a snake people. I don't know what they're called. Lamers? Are they called lamers? Lamars? Is that the snake people? I think it is. Oh, we don't want you there. We gotta move you. There we go. Chrysalis. Does that look... Is that Chrysalis, though? It's a neat name. I just don't know if that's the vibe of this area. I don't know about that. Transitional... Fancy word for transitional state. Is there a fancy word for cycle? Why is like thinking of names so hard? The council is deciding your fate. Who else is deciding? What? The court is deciding your vibe? But like your vibe based off this name? It's only temporary. It's the draft. I'm still figuring it out. Oh. Well, I don't know if it fits the vibe 100. Wait, where? How do I? Oh, there it is. Okay. Wait, what? No, I'm gonna get this. This is kind of name stealing, but I kind of like it a little bit better. Home of the blessed after death, meaning meteorite that crashed, suggesting a peaceful eternal land. After the meteorite, life began anew. Eternal land. I still don't know if that fits it, though. It fits a little bit better than Chrysalis, though. Chrysalis, I feel, is like more of like a wintry place. Like, I feel like Chrysalis would fit this area more, rather than this whole continent. A thesaurus is probably not the best place. I'm just getting basic English words. What about Latin is always the best one if you want to go for a fancy name. Reminded me of Amphorius from Honkai Star Rail, the Eternal Land. It reminds me of Ampharis when you say that, the Pokemon. English to Latin. Give me cycle. That's a crazy word. I mean, it's neat, but... That's way too over the top. No. Hang on, what if I... Oh, I got an idea. We do that. No, that's not a fancy word. Ooh, what about this? Oh, that's literally already Latin. What am I doing? Oh, that's... Hang on. Hang on. Please. Damn it! That's not what I want. That's too English! Latin, you're supposed to be fancy. You're not being fancy right now. What about that? Okay, hang on. It's not done yet. I like how you're just... That's way too crazy of a word. Resurgence? I just did revival. I didn't resurgence yet. Let me see. No, it's just resurgentia. That's not Latin enough. Reappearance? Maybe? Hang on. Reappearance? Reappearance in Latin is Reddit. I am not lying when I say that. Found a weird word. What is that? Metempsychosis? Hang on, let me look that up. I've never heard of that. Metempsychosis. Oh, hang on, that might work. That or a word for, like, its description. Oh, wait, no, that is Latin. What? Fancy. I'm just looking up fancy names now. None of these like match this vibe that I'm going with. Oh, what is that? Hang on. What about this? What is this? I don't remember this song in Witcher. Is this the DLC area? Maybe? I don't quite remember this spot. Not gonna lie. Alright, I'm hearing you out. I'm hearing you out. What you got? What you got? Ever heard of the term... what? Oh, Samsara? No, I have not. Samsara. The leading fleet management and safety platform. What? And the cycle... oh, well, I mean... yeah, if it was a cycle, I was kind of hoping this would be like only one meteorite. That would assume that there would be another meteorite that comes in. I think maybe Elysium might be the call. It's very basic, and honestly, I feel like there's a game called Elysium, but like it fits. I'm not good with names, unfortunately. I need to get better with that. I don't know how people... oh my god, this chair is falling down again! I don't know how people can come up with names like in an instant kind of thing. Like, it's crazy. That's such a nice skill to have. But yes, Samsara is a cycle. Yeah, I don't think a cycle fits this kind of like lore that we have for this place. Just because it's a one and done. The meteorite hit, all life was decimated, and then life began anew from said meteorite. Samsara would mean that this place would be doomed to have another meteorite. And I don't really like that. Not really. Also, how do I save? Where do I save at? Oh, I can export. This button? There we go. Save. You could tie it into the inevitability of fate. Well, that's kind of depressing. It could be something like the Shivering Isles, where like there is a god that roams, that rules this land from here, and every like 200 years, his true self, which is like a decimating dark god, comes out and he destroys the area. But once he's done destroying it, he turns back into his other self, which is a god, maybe of vitality, of rebirth, and he just starts anew all over again. Nee hee hee hee. What you nee hee hee about? Hmm? I'm gonna also want to... I kind of want to download this. Export. Yes. Export. Nice. Share on Reddit. I could do that. You know what? As a little trial period for this, my world was called Aurelia. Got some aura to it. I think for a draft of what this program is capable of, I think that's a not half bad world. I think that's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Now, is it the capability of what I wanted to do for the final print of what I have planned? I don't know yet. If I can get the skill of maybe being able to do something like this, maybe. But just like this, how it is, I would not be satisfied with what I got planned. With just something as simple as this. Maybe as like the first step, but I would definitely improve upon it very, very soon after that. I'm just gonna have to get the pro version to actually work on it now. Because honestly, the software itself, it's actually really easy to use. Not gonna lie, you're making me want to rename the capital of Aurelia, which is Lilac City. What are you gonna rename it to? All right. I think I don't really have anything else planned for today apart from this. Do I have anything else I could do? It is 9:14. I don't know if there's enough time to do something else. Maybe I just end it there. Honestly, I got a lot longer in here than I thought I would. I was surprised that I actually finished the map. I thought I would kind of get like burned out of trying to design a map far earlier on. But we actually did complete one. And maybe, I don't know, maybe like if I'm bored doing another stream, I could come back to this and like just do another draft or something like that, just in the pro version. That might be a play. But yeah, I think that might be it for today. You need a better name, though. I know! I'm not happy with it myself. Except the only problem is, I'm not good with names. I'm terrible with them. Also terrible at remembering names as well, but that's a whole different story. Need some help. Honestly, I have to figure out a name for the actual continent I want to build. I haven't figured that out quite yet. Names is like, out of everything imaginable, I think coming up with names is like the least creative thing I can do. Yeah, 100%. I 100% believe that. I don't think I'm really great with creating names. I think it's just because it's a whole language thing. I'm not really great with language. But alright. We're gonna end it there. What's everyone else doing? Let's see. You know what? Why don't we go to Umbrai? I feel like Final Fantasy is probably the closest related category for this. We were going for a peaceful vibe tonight. I feel like Final Fantasy might also be peaceful. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really played it. So let's go over to Umbrai. How about that? Let's go raid. Umbrai VT. There we go. Is that how you spell it? Yeah. All right. Y'all take care. I'm going to probably do a few other things before I hit the sack, but I hope you have a great rest of your night. Nat, I don't think you were supposed to work tonight, but if you do, have fun with that. If not, enjoy your weekend, I guess. Would it be classified as a weekend for you? I'm not quite sure. But anyways, I'm gonna head off now. You're not working? Okay. That's good for you. Have a good one then. Take care. I'm signing off now.